Hi everyone, this is our group members. My name is Nur Izzati Hazika binti Harif.
Hi, my name is Nur Shafila binti Gulam Shah.
Hi, my name is Nur Shazwana binti Sahrudin.
My name is Nur Farahin binti Muhammad Hatta.
My name is Nurul Amni binti Muhammad Syafi'i.
Hi, my name is Nur Shakira Husna binti Aminuddin.
Let's talk about what a vaccine is. Let me make it simple. A vaccine is like a little training manual for our immune system. It is a biological substance designed to protect us from specific disease. How does it do that? Well, it contains part of an organism like bacteria or viruses or even just their genetic material. These parts mimic the actual disease-causing agents but are safe and non-threatening. Now, here's the cool part. When we get a vaccine, it teaches our immune system to recognize and respond to the disease-causing agent without us actually getting sick. Think of it as showing your immune system a wanted poster of a potential bad guy. So, if your body ever encounters the real pathogen, it's ready to fight back quickly and effectively, keeping you healthy. Now I'm going to talk about why we get vaccinated. First, vaccines play a crucial role in protecting us from serious diseases like COVID-19 and influenza. These illnesses are not just about feeling unwell for a few days. They can lead to severe complications, long-term health problems, or even death in some cases. By getting vaccinated, we give our immune system the tools it needs to fight this disease effectively, reducing the risk of severe illness and helping us stay healthy and safe. Second, vaccines are like personal trainers for our immune system. They help build immunity by teaching our body to recognize and fight specific germs, such as viruses or bacteria. Once vaccinated, our immune system learns to identify these invaders quickly. This not only lowers the risk of us getting sick, but also help prevent recurrent infection because our immune system is now better prepared to respond effectively if it encounters the same threat again. Third one, vaccines don't just protect us, they also protect the people around us. When you are vaccinated, you are less likely to get sick and spread the disease to others. This is especially important for protecting vulnerable people in your family and community, like babies, elderly individuals, or those with weakened immune system who may not be able to get vaccinated themselves. By getting vaccinated, you are contributing to a healthier and safer community for everyone. Next, vaccination also helps us achieve something called herd immunity. When a large portion of the population is vaccinated, it creates a shield of protection around the community. This means the disease has fewer opportunities to spread, which indirectly protect those who cannot be vaccinated, like newborn babies or individuals with certain medical conditions. Herd immunity is a powerful way to keep entire communities safe and prevent outbreak of dangerous disease. Last but not least, vaccines also play a vital role in reducing the burden on our healthcare system. By preventing disease, they significantly lower the number of people needing medical care, hospitalization, and treatment. This not only frees up resources for other critical medical needs, but also reduces overall healthcare costs for families and government. In short, widespread vaccination help keep our healthcare system running smoothly and efficiently.
Brief overview of the immune system. First of all, do you guys know that the immune system is actually a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs that work together to protect the body from infection? It can recognize and destroy harmful substances such as bacteria, viruses, and parasites, as well as abnormal cells, such as cancer cells. The immune system is divided into two main components. The first one is innate immunity and the second one is acquired immunity, also known as adaptive immunity. Innate immunity presents in all kinds of animals. It provides immediate response and non-specific protections against pathogens. Innate immunity can be divided into two main components. The first one is external defenses and the second one is internal defenses. External defenses, as in our first line of defense, include skin, mucous membrane, as in our respiratory passages, secretions, as in our saliva, tears, and stomach acid. The second one is internal defenses, includes phagocytic cells, natural killer cells, interferon, and inflammatory. To make it easier, external defenses prevents microbes from entering our body, and internal defenses defend our body from the microbes that have managed to invade our body. Acquired immunity presents only in vertebrates. It will develop after an exposure to a particular pathogen. Although this kind of immunity provides slower response, it has very specific and a long-lasting protection against pathogens. There are two types of acquired immunity. The first one is humoral immunity and the second one is cell-mediated immunity. Humoral immunity is when an antigen or pathogen invade our body. It will activate and stimulate these cells to divide into plasma cells that secretes antibodies to destroy the pathogens or antigens. Cell-mediated immunity, on the other hand, when the antigen or pathogen invade our body, it will activate and stimulate T cells to divide into a clone of T cells to fight the pathogens or antigens, or to reject foreign tissues with the antigen.
Next, how vaccines train our immune system. What is antigen? Antigens are molecules that the immune system can recognize as foreign. They are often proteins, sugars, or other components found on the surface or inside pathogens, which is viruses, bacteria, or other microorganisms. In vaccines, the antigens are designed to mimic the pathogen without causing disease, effectively acting as a wanted poster for the immune system. These are types of antigens used in vaccines. First, live-attenuated vaccines. These vaccines contain a weakened, attenuated form of the pathogen. The pathogen is altered in the lab so it can still reproduce but does not cause serious illness. For example, measles, mumps, and rubella (MMR) vaccine. Second, inactivated vaccines. These vaccines contain pathogens that have been killed or inactivated so they cannot reproduce or cause illness. For example, inactivated polio vaccine (IPV). Third, subunit, recombinant, or conjugate vaccines. These vaccines contain only specific pieces of the pathogen, such as its proteins or sugars. These components are enough to trigger an immune response without including the entire pathogen. For example, hepatitis B and HPV vaccines. Next, toxoid vaccines. These vaccines contain inactivated toxins, which is toxoids, produced by the pathogen. These train the immune system to neutralize the harmful toxins rather than the pathogen itself. For example, tetanus and diphtheria vaccines. Besides, mRNA or DNA vaccines. These vaccines deliver genetic instructions, which is mRNA or DNA, to cells, telling them to produce a harmless piece of the pathogen, such as a spike protein found on the surface of the virus. For example, COVID-19 vaccines like Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna. Lastly, viral vector vaccines. These vaccines use a harmless virus, which is the vector, to deliver genetic material from the pathogen to cells, prompting them to produce antigens. For example, Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine. Next, how antigens are delivered. First, antigens are delivered through injections. Most vaccines are administered as injection into the muscle or skin. Second, oral, Some vaccines, like the oral polio vaccine, are taken by mom. Lastly, nasal spray. Flu vaccines can sometimes be delivered as a nasal spray. What happened after antigen introduction? First, recognition by antigen-presenting cells, APCS. APCS, like dendritic cells, encounter the antigen and process it. They present fragments of the antigen on their surface bound to a molecule called MHC, which is Major Histocompatibility Complex. Second, activation of T cells. The presented antigen activates helper T cells, which coordinate the immune response. If the vaccine is live attenuated, cytotoxic T cells might also be activated to destroy infected cells. Third, activation of B cells. These cells recognize the antigen and produce specific antibodies to neutralize it.
So now, I will explain about immune system activation, how vaccines work. When we got injected with vaccines will release foreign antigen and hemagglutinin, and then the antigens will met with immune response mediated by various immune cells, which is macrophage, B cells, and T cells. A major mechanism of action involves macrophage phagocytosis of hemagglutinin, breaking the antigen into the smaller components. After ingestion, the macrophages display the hemagglutinin and the antigen on their surface, and then combine with the specific receptor, which is Major Histocompatibility Complex, MHC. T cells are now able to recognize and bind foreign antigen that are associated with the MHC. Now, T cells become activated and proliferate into either cytotoxic T cells, regulatory suppressor T cells, or helper T cells. And then, the activated helper T cells express hemagglutinin receptors specific to the vaccine strand on their surface and play a major role in antibody generation and memory B cells activation. The activated cytotoxic T cells will find the pathogens and attack them through the phagocytosis or release chemical toxins. For this slide, I will explain about antibody production, which is from B cells. It begins when a B cells that exhibits on their surface IgM receptor bind with the same antigen. And then the B cells engulf the complex by receptor-mediated endocytosis. The phagosome containing the antigen fuses with the lysosome. The antigen is processed. The processed antigen binds MHC and is displayed on the surface of the B cells. For this slide, I will explain about antibody production, which is from D. Helper T cells now bind to the display antigen on the surface of B cells, causing the helper T cells to release cytokines. Cytokines stimulate the B cell to divide and proliferate into identical B cell copies. B cells differentiate, change, and develop into antibody, producing plasma cells and memory cells. Cytokines stimulate the B cell to divide and lastly, plasma cells release antibodies with a specificity identical to that of the surface receptors on the parent B cells. These carry out the ultimate goal of fighting the foreign invaders or pathogens.
So what is a memory cell? A memory cell is a cell that provides a long-term protection after an infection, vaccination. So basically they remember a certain type of pathogen so that when they encounter the same pathogen again, our immune system would react more quickly and more effectively. So memory cells are formed during the primary immune response when the body first encounters the pathogen. So basically, the immune system will produce a range of cells, and some of them become the memory cells. So the memory cell will stay in the body long after the infection is cleared. Moreover, there are two types of memory cells. The first one is the memory B cells, which is designed to remember a specific pathogens or antigen so that when our immune system re-encounter the same pathogen again, our body could, or our immune system could produce antibodies to neutralize it. And then the second one is the memory T cells. So memory T cells recognize and destroy infected cells. So there are two main types of T cells, which is helper T cell, which activates other cells, other immune cells, and there are also cytotoxic T cells, which directly kill infected cells. So how does vaccines actually relate to memory cells? Basically, when we get vaccinated, the vaccines itself introduce us to the harmless part of the pathogen, more like an inactivated protein. So when our body receives the pathogen, it triggers the formation of memory cells. But without causing the actual illness. So one day, when we get exposed to the actual pathogens, the memory cells will recognize it and it will produce a rapid defense to the pathogens. So memory cells is quite crucial in our body because it provides a quicker and more efficient immune response because they have learned how to fight the specific pathogens. Okay, so what happened when we are exposed to real germ? The first stage is the initial exposure. So the germs will enter the body through the skin to respiratory system like nose, mouth, digestive system like food, or direct contact with body fluids. By then, our body will undergo the second stage, which is the immune system response. There are two stages when it comes to immune system response. The first one is the innate immunity, which is the first line of defense, usually like skin or mucous membrane. The second stage is the adaptive immunity. So, for example, if the infection persists, our body will activate a more specific defense. So, the next thing happen is the symptoms. When we are exposed to a real germ, usually our symptoms would be bacterial infections like sore throat, and also viral infections like fever, body aches, or respiratory issues. Furthermore, we will also undergo spread of infection. So usually it is like infection versus immunity. In some cases, your immune system is able to fight off the infection without you noticing, but sometimes the infection can overwhelm the body, leading to a more severe illness. So the last stage is recovery. In this stage, the body will start to heal and the immune cells that fought off the germs will leave memory cells so that one day if you get re-exposure to the same pathogens, our immune system can act quickly and more effectively.